Hey guys, let's plan my next Disney trip together. I have so much to talk about because this is my favorite topic to do videos on. I have so much to share with you. I've already planned a lot of things, but there's still so much to do. And I just wanted to talk about kind of like the practical aspects of it, planning with a group, and like sort of how I plan out things and like lay it out so that I get the reservations that I want and I get the best prices. So, wanted to get in the mood, so I put on my Aristocat little tank. Love that. And I have my little mini necklace and my Loungefly in the background, and I'm just kind of getting into the mode of planning for Disney. First and foremost, I always get my hotel reservation, and this time we are staying at the Camelot. I want to talk a little bit about that. So we have gone to Disney like once or twice a year. I've never been an annual pass holder, but we've been going for at least like 6 years consecutively. And I do not regret it because my daughter was in the like prime age of like just absorbing all that magic and being super into it. She wasn't super young, so we could do a lot. And I have gained lots of knowledge. And from all of these trips, like we've been able to put together kind of like what works for our family and what doesn't work for our family. And so I have like a good gauge of like how to deal with a Disney trip, because as magical as it is, it's super pricey, as we all know, but it's also just really tough with like stamina and like energy levels, and different family members have different reactions to large crowds and to heat exhaustion and fatigue for, walking 20,000 steps a day. So all of that has to be accounted for in your planning to make it a worthwhile trip and make sure everyone's having a great time, right? So that's one thing I really like to think a lot about. I love just like throwing together a plan. Sure, it would be fun. Just race over there and ride all the rides and not really think about the practical aspect, but let's get practical. So I have a family to take care of. So we're actually going in late June this year. I already booked our Camelot reservation, our hotel lodging, in late March. And the reason, obviously, like the sooner you get your lodging set up, the better deals you'll have, etc. And so that was really important to me. And then that way, we're not going to pay peak season prices, because I guarantee you, and I can't even wait to actually look back at the hotels.com app and see what Camelot is going for in June and late May, because it's going to be double the price. And then I can just pat myself on the back and be like, oh my gosh, I got the best deal. So I always land my hotel reservation first, like 3 months in advance. And I always book one with a full cancellation policy up to a couple days before the trip, just to make sure, like if things change or whatever, especially if you're going with a group, like if the whole plan changes, like it's easy to just cancel that out and start over. So that's like a must do for me. And I like to space out like when I actually get my Disneyland tickets and when I get my lodging, because usually I put a deposit down for the lodging and it just helps to space out the pricing, or maybe I'll even pay in full for the lodging, whatever, and it just spaces it out. So then I wait like a good month, and I just got all of our Disneyland tickets, which we are going for 2 park days, 1 pool day, and then we stay the night each night at the end. So we're going for 5 total days and staying for 4 nights. We're basically doing 1 Disneyland day, park day with our family, with the extended family, and then 1 park day where it might just be the 3 Musketeers, us, just my little immediate family, and maybe my sister-in-law. So if we do that, that changes like how I'm going to do that Disney day. What I've learned over the years is that we go like rope drop to closing most of the time, or like as long as we can stay awake, because rope dropping is challenging in its own sense, because you have to get up early and you're just like racing around. I love it, but it's not for everyone. And so one thing that's like really important to my family is being close proximity to the parks. and it doesn't really matter where we stay. And I would like it not to be ghetto, but I also don't really care too much because we are spending the day in the parks. And we have tried everything. We have done the Disneyland Hotel a couple times, and quite honestly, like, it did not make a difference in terms of like it being convenient and making things so easy for our day. The monorail like stops running because it doesn't have air conditioning at once it hits like 85 degrees. So we couldn't use that to make it easy to get into the parks. I think it was also broken down at one point when we were there. We were at Frontierland, which is like the back hotel of the Disneyland Hotel. Like they have like Fantasy Land or Fantasy Rooms or whatever they're called in the front. And then we were the very back one for one of the stays. It took us like a good 15 to 20 minutes to walk all the way from Disneyland Resort exit through downtown Disney, through the Disneyland Hotel, up into the Frontierland part, up 10 floors. Like it took forever to get back. And also it's $800 a night. Sometimes I think we got one for like $550 one year because we got it 6 months in advance or whatever. But I'm telling you, if you're going to go to the Disneyland Hotel, you have to spend like your time there. I just think it's stupid to be in the parks when you've spent that kind of money and then you're not even enjoying the pool and all the things. So that's why Harbor Boulevard is our favorite. And not just Harbor Boulevard, it's got to be right there by the crosswalk going into the entrance to Disneyland. Because I'm telling you that even a difference of like 7-minute walk and a 5-minute walk at midnight is a huge difference. And like, I don't feel comfortable walking back to my hotel room, even down by the Hojo, which is down by the freeway entrance on Harbor Boulevard. And at midnight, like, Anaheim starts to change, okay? And it's not the best to be walking all over the place. We've stayed at the Westin and the Cambria Hotel and like all kinds of really wonderful hotels that required like a 15 to 20 minute walk. I'm telling you, I can't ever do that. It's like, I'm just done with that phase of life. Like my feet were aching. I was in Chuck Norris's, granted, one time, but like the other time, like just torture. So you have to make sure that you're thinking about your family and like planning so that, you know, you can get things done and not like torture everyone, right? So if we're going to do rope drop to close and like we don't like to take mid-afternoon breaks, then we want to be really close, 5 minutes maximum. So I would put that as a thing. Like if you want a leisurely, like awesome day at Disney, make sure you're only walking 5 minutes. And then also shuttles, I think they're irritating. Like it's great going to the parks, but then coming home, you're like exhausted. You're waiting for the shuttle. It's packed with people and you just can't easily get in and out. Like say you forget your sweatshirt, like you're screwed. You're not going back to your hotel. So those are all things to consider. So once I get my hotel and my tickets, I don't know if you've ever booked Disneyland dining reservations, but you do have to do it very strategically, which requires that you book 60 days out from your trip at 3 a.m. in the morning because they open their bookings at 6 a.m. Eastern time, and I live in California, so I'm going to be up at 3 a.m. booking the Blue Bayou and all the things. We're going to go into kind of what's on my to-do list, but that is something that's very strategic. So you have to have your Disneyland ticket at that point, or you can't be booking stuff through their app. You also have to do it at that time frame or things will just be gone. And they say, oh, you can toggle it back and forth and you can find the reservations. That has never worked for me. Like if I don't land some of those big ones like early in the morning, then they're just gone. So just throwing that out there. So I will be marking my calendar on that exact day, and I will be rising early and I will be scooping up as much as I can get. And I think I found that if you are trying to get 2 lunch reservations, you can't, because it'll be like, oh, you're already booked over here. So make sure you realize that you can't double book at the same time frame. And so definitely have a plan A and a plan B and maybe even a plan C, because I've gone in there and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't get the reservation that I want. Okay, well then you want to scoop up the next one as fast as you can. So you should know what other one, plan B for lunch, plan C for lunch, and just keep trying. And then again, you can try it the next day and the next day until your trip, and be hopeful that maybe you can scoop something up as people cancel. Just throwing that out there, that's kind of like critical information. Okay, so where we're at, the planning phase of our Disney day. So what I like to do is I got all these super cute my little planner, and I love all the like stuff from Home Goods and Hobby Lobby, and I just like take lots of notes. But my favorite thing to do to make sure everyone in your family is like feeling like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to get what I desire from this trip, because it's an expensive trip and you want to make sure that you are tackling all the things and everyone's getting what they so desire for the trip, right? What I do is I go around and I ask everyone at the dinner table, like, let's talk Disney tonight. And I go around and I ask them like, hey, what do you think is most important to you? So I'm like, what 3 rides do you absolutely need to feel like you got your money's worth, so that you have like the best, most magical time, right? So Space Mountain, my daughter said, Matterhorn, and Rise the Resistance. Okay, well, these require a lot of strategy, okay? Because I don't usually get lightning lanes, and I'm certainly not going to do lightning lanes when we're doing a family, extended family, big group, because then we're all going to be shooting in different directions and everyone's going to be on a different page. So I'm going to save that lightning lane for maybe the day that we're not going with everyone. So that being said, Space Mountain and Matterhorn could definitely be done at rope drop, but Rise the Resistance is going to be very challenging, and that could be like during fireworks or 30 to 20 minutes before it's closing for the day, because supposedly it closes earlier than the parks close. So that's just something to be mindful about and to keep on your mind all day. Like, how am I going to get on Rise, right? Okay. Then I asked them, like, what are 3 treats that you like so desire? What would make your day, right? What would make it magical? So she wrote Mickey beignets. We love those. Dole Whip. Gotta have the traditional Dole Whip. And a huge pickle. And she's probably going to have 3 huge pickles throughout the day. And I'm all for it. I'm going to join in. And then for her, like, most important dinner options would be the teriyaki kebab and Alien Pizza Planet slices of pizza. And she likes to make roke, which is root beer and Coke and like whatever mixture concoction she puts together. Okay, so that's my daughters. So I love knowing ahead of time, like, what is going to make this the most magical day for you, and try and pull it off. We are not saying like, hey, these are for sure happening, obviously. Then I did my husband's, and I'm like, okay, what 3 rides make this the most magical experience for you? And I got Haunted Mansion, Snow White, and Alex, because he loves the nostalgia of those fantasy rides, and he also has motion sickness, so it's like that's kind of what he gets to go on. So, but Haunted Mansion is an all-time fave. Okay, then he would love to eat at Docking Bay. I think it's called Docking Bay. Ooh, correct me if I'm wrong, or I'll put it here on screen if I'm wrong. The food is so good there, and I love the cold brew Cocoa Puff situation. You know what I'm talking about? That's such a good drink. Oga's Cantina, only if the whole group wants to go, because it's really weird to go there with just like 3 people and sit with like 4 different groups that don't want to interact. You can't have a private conversation, yet no one wants to acknowledge that you're at the same table as them. So I highly recommend going to Oga's Cantina only if you have a group and you can sit all together and make it super awesome Star Wars style. And then Alien Pizza Planet, he also loves the pizza and just being over in Tomorrowland. Okay, that's huge. And then treat-wise, he loves the Mickey Red Raspberry Macaron. That macaron is sold at Holly Jolly Cafe and I guess Gibson Girls. And then his dream thing is at Downtown Disney, which is bowling at Splitsville Lanes and having beer and pizza. So that's like his favorite thing to do. And my favorite part about that is getting the Minnie and Mickey bowling balls and taking pictures with them because it's so fun. So love that. Mine. I want to ride teacups like many times, not just once. This is my favorite ride in the parks and it is always available in the evening. So I'm just going to ride it consecutively. Okay. Or maybe during fireworks was like the most epic experience of my life on teacups. There's that option too. Rise is also on my list. I loved that. And I've only ridden it once. So like that would be dreamy. And, I would love to watch the fireworks from a castle view. So sitting out there an hour beforehand and getting like right in front of the castle would be a dream come true for me. And I would love to video that for you guys. So that's on my wish list. And I'm also thinking from like a videographer standpoint. So a lot of these things I like to do video and content. So there's that. We'll see what I can pull off. Okay. Now, Gibson Girl ice cream. Love that. Also love the picture on Main Street with it. Oh, Maurice's treat. I had this ages ago. I don't even know if they still have it there. I was going to look it up before this, but sorry guys. But they do this like, it's like an apple slushy with whipped cream and it's so delicious on a hot day. And so that would be a real refresher on a summer day. And beignets, Mickey beignets, of course. I would always love like if they have dipping sauces or peach ones or whatever they were doing in the spring in the past. I would love to do like a change up and try something a little bit new with that. So that's the wish list for my immediate family for having the most magical experience. I love to just have that in the back of my mind. If you're watching this video and you're enjoying this video, please like it right now. Be sure to subscribe and also follow along all the way to the end because I will be revealing one important tip that I think could make or break your trip. Let's talk about planning with a group. I think that it's really important to be autonomous and to plan for your immediate family and then think big picture group. Okay. And I'm a person that has a lot of boundaries and likes to plan everything out. And I can get kind of anal and kind of like attached to a plan. So I have to be careful and be more flexible. But I also think it's really important to figure out what are my absolutes and what are things that I'm flexible with. And I know for a fact that I am an absolute rope dropper. And if you're not in line with me at the rope, looking in the destination of where we're going to go and sprint as soon as the rope drops, then you're kind of not like doing the same thing that I'm doing. And that's fine. Okay. So what I think is important is to come up with like, what are your absolutes and what are things you're flexible with? I am an absolute rope dropper, so I will not compromise on that because that could mean, because if I don't buy a lightning lane, I only have rope drop as a strategy. It's my only chance to save a bunch of money and go on all the big rides. And I have to say, I love lightning lanes because later in the day you can ride big rides and not wait in line. I also feel like I'm so good at strategizing and getting on those rides in the morning that it's almost like a waste of money for me to do that. So you choose what you think. But we are not going to do lightning lanes when we're all together as a group of 8. The other part is I like to have my own lodging and have my own space because let's just remember how stressful Disneyland actually can be and how tired everyone is and sweaty and they're feet are killing them and they might have back pain or knee pain or whatever. Like, you need a place to retreat at the end of the night that's just you and like who you're comfortable being cranky with. Okay? Quite honestly. And so that's important to think about. And then also, if people start changing their plans and whatnot, your whole trip didn't get ruined. Like, oh, I already have my lodging. You can change yours and change the plan. That's fine. Another thing to think about, and I've done this over the years, is that it's nice to have a pool day, break day in the middle of your park day. So, because sometimes getting back up and doing that whole thing again, that marathon again, is so tough. So I want to be able to sleep in here, non-negotiable. I'm sleeping in the next day. Nobody's getting me up early for some brunch or some IHOP adventure or whatever. Like, I'm sleeping in the day after my marathon at Disney. I want to chill. I want to go slow. I would like to go in the pool, even if it's not the coolest pool. Camelot has a decent pool, but not awesome. But I still would like to swim in it and relax in a jacuzzi. Downtown Disney, we absolutely love. And so I would love to shop that. And we want to do bowling at Splitsville Lanes. That's like a huge family tradition for us. It's so fun with the Mickey Minnie balls. We just love that. We usually get a black tap shake, a crazy shake, and it's all fun, and take pictures with it, and eat tons of sugar, and we shop the World of Disney and all the things, and the Lego store, and blah, blah, blah. So that's like a must do, but again, I don't want to wear myself out, so we'll just take it easy, go slow, and then go back to the hotel and go to bed early, okay? And chill. And there's a McDonald's over there, and there's like Panera Bread and all the stuff on Harbor Boulevard. Like, just get some food, take it back to your hotel and chill, watch a movie, whatever. We're trying to rest. Then the following day, yet again, hit it up. I think this time my immediate family is going to go the second day together, but the whole group is just going one day. Another reason not to have lightning lanes, because we all want to be on the same page. Another reason to scoop up some really cool reservations. So on my to-do list, I would like to try and snatch up the Blue Bayou. So many reasons for that. Like, it's so memorable and sweet, and I would just love to have a family picture in there with like the whole extended family. It's like being on Pirates for like an hour, hour and a half, and air conditioning in the summer months without all the people like super like fighting for a table, like super annoying, like up in your business, no shade, nowhere to sit, all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't want to deal with. So I would love to book a nice air-conditioned Blue Bayou for a memorable experience for our family. Gonna have to get up early on 60 days before my trip in order to pull that one off. I also think the Oga's Cantina would be so fun, like I said, in like a big group, and we can just, there's like non-alcoholic drinks, there's alcoholic drinks, there's like crazy snacks. I would definitely preview that menu and like kind of like learn about what those things are, because some of them were like kind of shocking, like, oh, this isn't the most flavorful situation, or this tastes a little bit weird. I would like to kind of learn a little bit more about their menu before we go this year, hoping that I can get a reservation for that for our big group day. And then being flexible with, all the things that people want to do. Okay, so I feel like we have the trip planned for the most part. We have the Camelot, staying at the Camelot. I have on my calendar written 60 days out, the day that I have to get up early to get all the reservations. I have all the expectations written down, things that I have a little wish list for my whole family and trying to achieve those things. I'm going to do like a daily breakdown of like where we could go for lunch, where we could go for breakfast, where we could go for lunch, where we could go for dinner. I'm going to do a little breakdown for that. I don't eat breakfast in the park. I always bring continental style food and I put it in the hotel room the night before. And we just eat that. So it's like muffins and pastries and whatever, like Pop-Tarts. And I bring creamer and I bring pour over coffee, and I just make all my coffee and all of our breakfast food right there, yogurt, in the hotel. So we never eat breakfast at Disney, and we never stop at Starbucks and waste time. We just get into the parks and get going. And then maybe get a snack if we're needing it. Okay, so I talked about all those things. So the tip that I wanted to give you that I thought was most important tip I have for you is if you are planning to rope drop and you're not doing the lightning lane thing, and maybe even if you are doing the lightning lane, but you don't wait for anyone. All right, don't wait for your family. Don't wait for anyone unless it's your kid, okay? So put yourself first and set up expectations of, I'm going to be at the rope drop, I'm going to run to these rides, and I'm going to hit Space Mountain, the Matterhorn, Thunder Mountain, and Pirates all before 9:30, and maybe Tiana's Bayou, all before 10 a.m. And that is going to make it worth not getting lightning lanes and worth getting to the parks and just banging those out. Don't compromise. And you can text your family and just be like, hey, we're almost done here. We're going to be here. Meet us here. If not, I'll see you later. So that's my pro tip, is that you set boundaries, you put yourself first, you put your most important part of the day where you're saving all of this money and you're getting your magical experience, and you put that first. That's my advice for you. I don't know if it's horrible or not, but I think that it's important to know what your boundaries are and to set expectations and say that to the people that you're going to Disney with. Listen, I'm going to do this today. If you're not cool with that, I'm sorry. This is how I'm going to do it, and I will meet with you later. Thanks for planning. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions or comments about this video, please put them below. I have a ton of planning, prep, get ready with me, Disney videos for you to watch. I also capture all the magic of the parks, and I have all of these things in playlists. So go check them out. You can ride rides with us. You can prep for Disney with us. You can go to Downtown Disney with us. You can go on our Disney trips with us. There's so much content for you to absorb. So check it out. And if you want different videos, if you want specific videos on certain topics, then please suggest them in the comments. But by giving me a like, you're letting me know that you liked this content and it's helping you in some way. So thank you. I'm here to help. I'm here to inspire you. And I just love talking about Disney. And this is like my favorite kind of video. So let's plan. I hope I helped you plan to get to the most magical place on earth. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week.